वन्दे गुरुपदद्वन्द्वम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् रक्तशुक्लप्रभामिश्रम् अतर्क्यं त्रैपुरम् अहः विशुद्धिज्ञानदेहाय त्रिवेदी दिव्यचक्षुषे श्रेयः प्राप्तिनिमित्ताय नमः सोमार्धधारिणे नमो यामिनीनाथरेखालङ्कृत कुन्तलाम् भवानीं भवसन्तापनिर्वापण सुधानदीम् Panchama Khanda, Dalita Navavarna Pooja. So now we start with the description of the Avarana Pooja. Etat padena nirdishtam pujam vitatya darshayati. So that is the avatarika for the next sutra. It says nirdishtam pujam vitatya darshayati. The saparya which was mentioned in the earlier part of the sutras is now being elaborated. Vitatya vistarena. Atha Prathamike Chaturasre Anima Laghima Mahima Ishitva Vashitva Prakamya Bhukti Ichha Prapti Sarvakama Siddhantaaha Madhyame Chaturasre Brahmyadyaha Mahalakshmyantaha Tritiye Chaturasre Sankshobhana Dravana Akarshana Vashya Unmadana Mahankusha Khechari Bija Yoni Trikhandaha Sarva Poorvaha Taha Sampujyaha. So we are into the first Avarana. When we speak of first Avarana, the description here is in the Samharakrama. That is, from outside we are going or we are moving or we are inching towards the Bindu in the Shri Yantra. So the construction of Shri Yantra is that there is a Bhupura, the three concentric squares, followed by a 16-petal lotus, followed by an 8-petal lotus. Then there is a Valitraya, three concentric circles. Then there is an 16-edged triangle, Chaturdashara. And there is one inside, there is a 10-edged triangle, Bahirdashara. There is one more 10-edged one, Antardashara. Then there is one Ashtakona, 8-edged. And then a Trikona. The last one is the Bindu. So totally 9. So Prathamike. So we are starting with the outermost concentric squares, and since there are 3 concentric squares as per the Kalpa Sutra, Prathamike Chaturasre. In the first Chaturasra, in the first square, Anima, Laghima, Mahima, Ishitva, Vashitva, Prakamya, Bhukti, Ichha, Prapti, Sarvakama. So these are the Siddhi Devatas. Siddhantaaha, which means that Bhagavan is specifying that after each of these names, the word Siddhi should be added. So it is not merely Anima, it is Anima Siddhi. So Laghima Siddhi, Mahima Siddhi. So Siddhantaaha. So we have to add the word Siddhi after each of these names. So Siddhantaaha. So in the first square we have the Siddhi Devatas. Now what are these Siddhi Devatas? The Anima, the Laghima, okay, the Mahima, They are all various powers that the sadhaka acquires, and these powers are mostly physical and mental powers. Say for example, Laghima means it gives him the capacity to shrink his body to an atomic size. Okay. Laghima, he can become weightless. So forth. All these siddhis are basically a kind of powers that he acquires by having a complete control over his psychosomatic mechanism. And the whole purpose of the saparya is Atmalabha. Therefore, these siddhis are treated as an Anushanga Prayojana. They are not very important for a sadhaka. A sadhaka has to know or has to accept that these are benefits that he is getting in the due process. And this is definitely not the end. That is why these Siddhi Devatas are kept in the outermost. Okay. As we proceed within the chakra, we'll find that we are entering into a more subtler concepts. Concepts which will take us more closer to our realization of our true nature. Now, second question. Okay, these Siddhi Devatas are there. Are there any specific positions for these Siddhi Devatas? So, if we take up our Saparya Paddhati book, the position for these Devatas will also be marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there is a specific place or a position in the outermost square where these Devatas have to be worshipped. From next class, I will try to project it on the screen for the benefit of everyone. So, so that we also know while we are speaking where these Devatas are, because that is very important. We should know, because we are doing this Saparya, we should also know where these Devatas are. Because when we go, there are some Avaranas which goes clockwise. There are certain Avaranas where we have to come anti-clockwise. So, our Saparya should not be mechanical. We have to know where these Devatas are seated within the chakra. But for now, on the outermost, we have the Siddhi Devatas. Okay? So, Anima, Laghima, Mahima, Ishitva, Vashitva, Prakamya, Bhukti, Ichha, Prapti, Sarvakam. So, totally 10. Siddhantaaha. Fine. Then, in the second concentric square, Madhyame Chaturasre, Brahmyadhyaha, Mahalakshmyantaha, starting from Brahmi till Mahalakshmi. Okay, so these are the Matru, Saptamata, Ashtamata. Okay, there is always this, how many Matrikas or sorry, how many Matas or Matra Devatas are there? Generally, Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Varahi, Indrani, and Chamunda. There is no confusion regarding these. When we take Durga Saptashati, we have an additional Narasimhi. In Saparya, there is one Mahalakshmi. So this is where the thing comes. Okay, Narasimhi, Mahalakshmi. All right. So in the Sabarya, the Devata is called as Mahalakshmi. Whereas when we go to the Saptashati, it is Narasimhi. All right. And in that, the order is also pretty much fixed. First is the Brahmi. The next two are Shaiva Shaktis. Therefore, Maheshwari and Kaumari. The rest are Vaishnava Shaktis, starting from Vaishnavi, Varahi. Okay. Ends or it culminates in Chamunda. Since Varahi is the fifth and her position doesn't change, she is called as Panchami. Okay. So these Ashtamatra Devatas are positioned in the second concentric square. So Madhyame Chaturasre Brahmyadyaha Mahalakshmiyantaha. Then Tritiye Chaturasre in the third concentric square. Sankshobhana, Dravana, Akarshana, Vashya, Unmadana, Mahankusha, Khechari, Bija, Yoni, Trikhandaha. So these are the names of the Dasha Mudras, 10 Mudra Devatas. Sarva Poorvaha. So you have to add the word Sarva ahead or in front of all these names. So it is not just Sankshobhana, it is Sarva Sankshobani, Sarva Vidravani, Sarva Karshini. So Sarva Poorvaha. So the word Sarva has to be added before these names. So Sarva Poorvaha. Taha Sampujyaha. So these Devatas have to be worshipped in the third innermost or the third concentric square. So pretty much the sutra is very simple. It has enlisted the Devatas of the Prathama Avarana. Okay. Whereas when we go to the Saparya Paddhati itself, it doesn't just end with the with these three sets of Devatas. After this, there is a Pushpanjali. Then there is a Chakreshi for which we have to offer. Then every Avarana, there is one Mudra Devata. There is one Siddhi Devata. Then to the Mula Devata, that is Lalita Mahatripasundari. So there are 4 more additional Pujanam and Tarpanam. And when it comes to Mahatripasundari, it is done 3 times. For the Chakreshi, Mudra and Siddhi Devatas, it is done once. So it happens after we have completed the set of the Avarana, Avaranarchana. Okay. And then there is a Puja Samarpanam that happens after every Avarana. In the simplest method, this is what is there. When we go to some more complex methodologies, every Avarana gets Archanam. Okay. Then there is an Naivedya for every Avarana. There is a Bali for every Avarana. For every Avarana, the Bali Devatas are different. Okay. That is all when we go for an elaborate Bhakya Varivasya. But simple Varivasya, we don't, either we can do the Naivedya or we can do the Samashti Naivedya. We can even make it as a very simple Naivedya, depending on one's own convenience. So, second sutra. Etaha Prakata Yoginyaha Trailokya Mohane Chakre Samudraha Sasiddhayaha Sayudhaha Sashaktayaha Savahanaha Saparivaraha Sarvopacharaihi Sampujitaha Santu Iti Tasameva Samashti Archanam Krutva. These devatas, when we spoke about, they are Vyashti devatas. When we individually call them as Anima, Siddhi, Lagima, Siddhi, or Brahmi, Maheshwari, or Sarva Sankshobani, Sarvidrani, etc. Collectively, they have one name. Their collective name is called as Prakata Yogini. So Vyashti, they have individual names. As a sum total, they have a collective name by name, collective name, that is Prakata Yogini. So Etaha Prakata Yoginyaha. So in the Pushpanjali, this is where we offer the Pushpanjali. Okay, till now we have been doing the Pujanam and Tarpanam. Okay, here we will be offering the Pushpanjali. For offering the Pushpanjali, we use the Samashti. Okay, so Etaha Prakata Yoginyaha. These Prakata Yoginis. Then the name of the Prathama Avarana. Okay, Trailokya Mohana Chakre. So the first chakra is called as Trailokya Mohana Chakra. So the three Bhuparas, okay, the concentric Bhuparas, they are called as Trailokya Mohana. Triloka, Trilokasya Bhavaha Trailokyam. Okay, Trailokya Mohanam, because it is enchanting. That is why we are all enamored to be in the state of where we are. It is very, very difficult, and it is because of the anugraha of Guru that some people amongst these millions on this planet ever have a chance to even look within themselves. Otherwise, the physical world is very, very enchanting. So this Trailokya is Mohana. So all these Shaktis denote the aspect of the Triloka. So this first chakra is called as Trailokya Mohana Chakra. Since it is the last or the farthest one, which a person can easily relate to, the yoginis are also called as Prakata Yogini. Okay, they are clearly manifest. Prakata Yogini, Trailokya Mohane Chakre, Samudraha, along with their mudras, Siddhayaha, along with their siddhi. So each chakra will have a specific mudra, a specific siddhi. Okay, Ayudhaha, Shaktayaha, Vahanaha, along with their ayudhas, okay, Vahanas, Parivara. Each of these may have their own parivara. So Parivara, Sarva Upacharaihi, with all the upacharas that the sadhaka offers. Sampujitaha, may they be worshipped. Santu. Santu, obviously, because Bahuvachanam, there are many yoginis, there are Santu. Iti tasam Samashti Archanam Krutva. One performs the Samashti Archana. The same mantra will be repeated in the other Avaranas, except that we change the name of the chakra, we change the name of the yogini, and we change the name of the mudra. No, sorry. We change the name of the yogini and the chakra here. Okay. So instead of Prakata Yogini and Trailokya Mohana, we will be using, okay, whatever is corresponding to that particular Avarana. Okay. Karashuddhim Ucharya. Karashuddhi, if you remember in the beginning, before the Nyasa took place, Karashuddhi mantra was Ammam Saudhu. So Karashuddhim Ucharya means after using the Karashuddhi Bijas, that is Ammam Saudhu. Tripara Chakreshwari Avamrishya. So one has to Avamrishya, Avamarshanam means one has to worship. So Pujayami Tarpayami. So Tripara Chakreshwari. So the Chakreshwari for the Prathama Avarana is Tripura. So Tripara Chakreshwari Avamrishya. Then individually every chakra has its own mudra. So Dram iti Sarva Sankshobani Mudram Pradarsayet. So Bhagavan has clearly enumerated that for the first it is the Sarva Sankshobani Mudra, and the bija for Sarva Sankshobani Mudra is Dram. So Dram iti Sarva Sankshobani Mudram Pradarshite. Chakra Yogini Chakreshinam Namani. So for every Avarana, the Chakra, the Yogini, and the Chakreshi, they are different. System Samanam. The rest is as it has been stated in the Sutra 2. So he will not be repeating it after every chakra. One has to just make the Uha and amend it accordingly. Dvitiya Varanam we will see next.